the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network as we are here at Daytona for OP Grand National Series. It is race number 18 of 22. Qualifying is underway. This is the Turn 3 Racing Network. My name, KR. Kevin's in the booth. Oh, what? Yeah, Kevin's in the booth with me. What's up, Kevin?
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, Hey, fresh off your win from Monday.
Yeah, that was certainly an interesting race over at ISS. It was nice to get it and hopefully continue the momentum into the playoffs on Monday night.
Well, cool. Well, tonight qualifying is underway here in race number 2 in the round of 16. So the looming cutoff race is next week, where we will it down to the top 8 drivers. And so with qualifying being kind of important here tonight, how do you think these guys are going to feel if they don't qualify well?
They're gonna have to then nail their pit stops. You're gonna want to stay up front, stay hopefully in the safest place, which is the front of the pack. And then if these cars get side by side and they tend to stall out, and then you get a nice parking lot, you're gonna be in trouble for the rest of the race and have to pull some strategy. So you want to ensure the best starting spot, get a good pit stall selection, so you can just maintain the positive momentum throughout your entire race and not play catch up, because then you make desperate moves and sometimes lots of mistakes.
All right, well, the 40 of Peter DeBorgia has just started his qualifying effort. Is on the throttle. We got the lineup of our 8 drivers, or sorry, not our 8 drivers, our 16 drivers trying to come down to 8. And right now, Zach Workman is above the cutoff, but it is also close. Travis Elliott, 26 points below the cutoff line, and he's the last driver of the 16. So with that being said, we're going to step away for the national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network as we get ready for the Ron Fairnot Memorial. And we are going to get right into tonight's starting lineup as the drivers are already on the grid. Sebastian Marin on the front row with Anthony English to his outside. Row number 2 going to be made up of the 40 of Peter DeBorgia, the 6, Kody Neagles. Row 3 will be Vicente Guerrero and Sean Stevens in the 27. Row number 4 will be the 88 of Gabe Butler and the 33 of Jeff Crosby. Row 5, Zach Fritsch in the 12 and the 47 of Richard Kuhn. Row number 6, the 19 of Zach Workman, the 53, Dave Hunt. Jimmy Reynolds and Eric Laurie make up row number 7. Row number 8 will be Joey Della Vecchia and Mark Mann. Row number 9, Les Levy in the 62 and Jim Mayer in the 95. Row 10, Daniel Holloway and David Booth. Row number 11 going to be Travis Elliott and Michael Pratt. Row 12, Nate Warren in the 9 and Harold Rothery in the 18. Wesley Hogue and David Livingston for row number 13. Row 14, Andrew Schroeder and Richard Sanchez. Row 15 will be Dan Harrington and Lynn McNeese. And Adam Kilday will bring up the tail end of this 31-car field. All 31 cars have fired and have left the grid. And so, Kevin, these guys getting ready to have a heck of a race here tonight.
Yeah, hoping to get off to a clean start here. Everybody be especially careful with this ARCA car. If you get even the slightest bit of a wrong push, they have a tendency to lift the rear end, spin out, and that collects a lot of people, especially here at Daytona, where you don't have a whole lot of runoff room to use to avoid the chaos that will be happening at some point.
All right, the field makes its way off of turn number 4, the pace car. Getting ready to peel off for pit road. Sebastian Marin in the 23 gets to the green flag. And away we go for the first time here tonight. Heading off into turn number 1. Kevin, how important is a good start in this one?
This is going to be huge for all the drivers, just trying to stay clean, especially your playoff drivers who didn't have the best race last week. You have Travis Elliott, Les Levy, Eric Laurie, and Peter. They're all trying to make up a deficit, probably want to make sure that they get some stage points, but also don't sacrifice getting some stage points to kill your whole rest of your race, because it pays a lot more points there at the end. And if you get caught up in some mess, then you're going to have to be very conservative, especially through the middle section of the race.
Ooh, Eric Laurie.
Ooh.
Not sure what that was, but he was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, that'll definitely get your attention on lap 1 coming out of turn 4. That'll wake up the whole back half of that field.
Everyone saw that, checked up, and was like, oh, never mind. Back to the throttle we go.
Maybe we'll just hang out back here for a little while, get single filed.
Zach Fritsch pulling down to the inside. He's going to drop to the tail of the field. With that being said, Alan Fritsch is here in chat. And of course, we have our super fan, the wonderful Miss Mara Clark. How you doing, Miss Mara? Your little boy toy, Mark Mann, right now, he finds himself comfortably in last place. Well, now he's going to get around somebody. Gets around 2 cars as we have Michael Pratt in the wall. I'm sorry, that's David Livingston into the wall. Kept it up there. We stayed green, but the 50 making a hard hit there and kept it out of the way and kept this race going.
Yeah, he was reacting to the 8 car out of turn 4. Michael Pratt got into the wall a little bit, and then Livingston, it looks like, went to avoid him, and then he put himself also into the wall. That's an unfortunate start, as both guys have lost the draft, and that makes for a very miserable race. Just driving in circles around Daytona all by yourself.
All by yourself. And not even going at like a speed that is entertaining for a driver. It's like a speed where your 12-year-old can do it.
Yeah, the speed here, it's such a huge difference in and out of the draft here, especially in the ARCA cars. They're not the highest horsepower cars, so when you're out of the draft, it's just not a fun night.
Well, good news is they'll have at least 1 caution that coming at the stage break at the halfway point. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our other race info here tonight for the Ron Fairnot Memorial. Kody Neagles locked himself in with the race win last week. Talked to more than one driver about what some keys to this race are, and they said it is all about survival. And then the other half said avoid the pit road penalties, especially late in the race. They will have 1 fast repair to their benefit here tonight. So, Kevin, talk a little bit about pit road penalties and how that plays in.
Yeah, especially here at Daytona, you get actually a little more speed into pit road. You're allowed to go 60 miles an hour, which sometimes helps. Sometimes you still try and push it a little too hard, but I think the most common one we see here is the unsafe pit exit, because the pit exit all the way through turn 1 and 2 is so flat that if you just try and push it a little too hard, you're going to wash up and go right over that yellow line, and you also risk hitting that yellow line and then spinning yourself out, because the banking transition is so severe up all the way throughout these curves, which is why you see in the pack, if somebody hits that yellow line, typically they will shove straight up the track and cause an incident for everybody around them. So it's all about minimizing your risk throughout your pit stops, being more I have a tendency when I'm driving, being more conservative on my pit entry, just because that is something you have full control over. So a lot of the things out here on the racetrack, you are not in full control, but that is something you can completely destroy your race all by yourself. As you see, a very strong run coming on the 3rd lane here.
Yeah, the 51 of Travis Elliott leading the charge up in the 3rd lane. Had some momentum to get up to the top spot, but things kind of fizzled out just a little bit.
Yeah, you see that the car who's pushing him, I think that might be, that's Jim Mayer having some connection issues. And when you just have one car have a connection issue, especially when they're that 2nd car in line, it just takes all the momentum exactly how we saw it. And it's just going to stall everybody out, and then you lose everything that you just gained.
Not only that, but everyone also going to be very careful because they don't know where that car is going to reappear.
Oh yeah, it's a very unsettling feeling, especially when that car just magically appears inside of your car. That's certainly one of the more uncomfortable moments you'll have here on the track, because they'll appear. iRacing's nice enough to give you a little buffer, but once that happens, it regains that little bit of space. You can instantaneously wreck.
Yeah. Oof. Just the thought of another car spawning inside of your car, and then like 3 seconds later, you have like 3 seconds to figure out what to do.
Yeah. And it'll also just pull you back. It'll act the side draft. You'll side draft that lead car if you're stuck inside of them, and that pulls you back quite a bit. It'll also overheat the car if you don't get separated. And then you also have to be careful when you go to push them again. You can sometimes, if you didn't allow the separation to grow enough, you will start driving straight through that car again. It's just, you know, internet racing. It's got its quirks.
Good old cartoon racing on this here video game we call iRacing. Yeah, I made everybody mad. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a sim. Come on, it's not a video game.
It's whatever I call it at this point. All right, so Travis Elliott in the 51, still working that third lane. Got the 95 of Jim Mayer on his back bumper. Business is picked up. All but 3 cars just turned their fastest lap of the race, so they're starting to get ready for their first round of green flag pit stops, and that's coming up here in about 5 to 8 laps. So everyone's starting to jockey for position and gain whatever ground they can. And Kevin, you've been in enough of these OP races that you start to see everyone try and make deals to get down to the bottom. What's that like as a driver? What's the radio chatter like when you're coming up on a green flag pit stop and you start seeing everyone blend into the bottom lane?
You really want to keep an eye on that outside lane, and also try and figure out who's in your lane on the bottom. If you have any teammates, you better get that brake pedal ready, because you'll see the line just start backing up, letting people in, and it becomes a little chaotic if you're not paying attention, especially in this ARCA car with the closing rates the way they are. The way this draft model is, those guys all up front, they're all stalled out. They're not going anywhere. You have to really work hard and stay super organized to make progress. But all those cars in the back are, as you see, Sebastian Marin have a problem there.
Yeah, he's dropped down to the inside. Not sure, did that engine let go or what?
It would appear that it did.
Tough break, because that is the worst place you want to see that engine let go.
Yeah, but he did a great job, as did the other drivers there, to only make it so that it was him involved in that. And now he's just hoping to make it back to the pits and get his faster pair and hopefully stay in a respectable spot where he can get back on the lead lap. These ARCA cars, they're weird in the fact that you can't tandem push as much with the draft model, just because of the way the body shape is. It's more of the sort of like your Gen 4 Cup car, where it had the twisted sister, where it's a little offset and also sloped on the left side. But you can still get these temperatures up there pretty hot, because with the way it is, you just try and stay as close as you can. And if you offset, you are able to tandem. It's just not always comfortable for the lead car, because you will pick them up off the ground a little bit. So you do have to keep an eye on your temperatures. But that's just unfortunate for Sebastian this early in the race to have that happen.
Fastest lap of the race right now goes to Adam Kilday in the number 85, as we got one turnaround backwards. That is the 48 of Andrew Schroeder, as Kilday had just turned the fastest lap of the race. And we have our first caution flag of the night, and Sebastian Marin, still crawling on the pit road, has lost 2 laps so far.
Yeah,
his caution is going to help him, but a little late for it. And so let's see what happened to the 48 here. Gets turned by the 510. It looked like Andrew was checking up for what happened to Sanchez.
If you go further up in the pack, you have Jim Mayer. Jim Mayer got into the wall a little bit, and it looks like Les was checking up a little bit to stay out of what could have happened because it looked like they were about to wreck pretty big. And then Andrew had to check up real fast. And yeah, it just looks like Rick didn't notice it fast enough.
And you can see Jim Mayer in the wall here. So everyone trying to check up and give room for that. And the accordion effect came into play. And that is what grabbed Andrew Schroeder in the 48. So Sebastian Marin got a new engine in that race car, used his fast repair, and has rejoined the race. David Livingston down a lap. Everyone coming down pit road. We're going to see who our free pass is. I want to say it's going to go to Livingston, but you never know. All it takes is a little bump, a 0x, to eliminate your chances of that. The Livingston has stayed out. Whether he's got the free pass or going to stay in front of the leaders, we'll see when he gets by that pace car. But Jeff Crosby wins the race off of pit road. Or is it Anthony English in the 44? Like English going to take over that top spot. All right, with all that being said, guys, we're going to step away for a quick break. No one going anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ron Fairnot Memorial. Asterisks in place for a reason. Kevin Freese in the booth with me here tonight. Kevin, let's see how you do calling this restart.
Yep. So we have Anthony English in control of the fields coming into the restart zone. Looks like everybody gets away relatively clean. That outside lane, you have the two teammates. You got Gabe Butler and Peter DeBorgia up there. Richard Kuhn closing in on Anthony English. See how, oh, you have three teammates. Eric Laurie as well up there. So let's see how they play this. Do they want to stay all three teammates lined up, or maybe if they get clear? They're gonna have this strong run down the backstretch. They may clear, definitely gonna clear Peter there to the bottom. And I know Peter wants to get that point for a lap lead, as well as Gabe and Eric.
Riding on board with the 19 of Zach Workman. Workman up in the high side. The 48 of Andrew Schroeder is the one that was turned around sideways, backwards, pointed the wrong way. And had a great pit stop and finds himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, just checking in on people's streams. There a lot of discussion about whether to top off, see if I guess they could make it to the stage break, because that obviously would be a huge benefit, and you can also save a massive amount of fuel in these cars just by riding in the pack because of those runs that I spoke of earlier. You just stay really well sucked up to the car in front of you. Gotta give Jeff Crosby Jr. a shout out for that paint scheme, that beautiful Skull Bandit there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. What do you, I mean, it's just a shame cars can't look that good anymore.
Yeah, I know. The government decided to make some rules. Can't have any more of those fun sponsors. Ooh, you see everybody mixing it up 3 wide here. Not a very organized 3 wide.
That allows the 88 of Gabe Butler, though, to take over the lead for the moment. Drops down to the middle lane. Can't quite get clear of the 44 of Anthony English. But that third lane for the first time tonight has pushed somebody to the race lead.
Yeah, it looks like they just used that big run that Zach had, and you see Gabe go up and protect against that run, but these cars, the way they bump, may have gotten into the wall a little bit, so they're going to lose a ton of track position maybe. Hopefully they can get it back, especially with Travis bailing. That lane's going to go backwards quite a bit. Oh yeah, Gabe's on an island now. That's a lonely feeling when you're the only car up there.
So Gabe Butler all by himself up in the third lane. Nowhere to really slot in, as that is packed up very tightly. So now the 40 of Peter DeBorgia out in front. The 44 of Anthony English still battling on the inside. Anthony English has been hooked up. Has been a car that's been very dominant so far in the opening laps of this race.
And it's somewhat surprising because that outside lane has more cars and they're definitely all tighter together, but they just don't seem to be able to form that run to begin, like almost like a conveyor line with just shuffling everybody to the front. It's kind of strange to see, but I guess Richard Kuhn's doing a great job just staying really, really tucked up under Anthony's bumper, and they're just maintaining down there. These cars are a lot of fun to drive with the run. As you see, just 2 cars are able to push right up to the front. They may not be able to clear anybody, but you just get the massive run and hope that it brings you somewhere.
All right, well, this stage is going to end at the completion of lap 35. So we still have quite a few laps to go. Contact the 38 to 071. They're able to hold on to it. That one was a close one.
Yeah, a lot of unsettling moments with close calls for a lot of our drivers, and a lot of them are playoff drivers, so that is not what they want to see this early in the race. You'd like to have a nice, uneventful beginning run for this, just to set yourself up for that stage so you don't lose all your track position.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our point standings as they came into the race here tonight. Kody Neagles locked himself in with that race win last week. Zach Workman just above the cutoff. Nate Warren just below it. All these drivers are your 16 championship contenders. but only 8 drivers are going to make it into the next round. And I wouldn't count out anybody on this list just yet to pull off a race win. Stage wins goes to, for the moment, the 40 of Peter DeBorgia. He has 4 stage wins. Zach Fritsch, the only other driver to have multiple stage wins this season. Everyone else picking up 1 win in the stages. And our hottest drivers, Zach Fritsch in the 12. Been gaining a lot of points. Gonna need all the points he can. He can't get a win, so that's a good thing to be doing. But the other thing that happens is when you start gaining all those points and you're finishing up front, and sooner or later you pick up that win. So Kevin, you know a thing or two about winning on a super speedway.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Sometimes it's not all in your control. I was obviously, I had a lot of help by the yellows on Monday night. But if these guys finish the way they are right now, this points picture is going to look very different with a lot of people gaining points, getting closer to that cutoff line. Could make for a very interesting race next week, and potentially a lot of aggressiveness, which could be really good for everybody watching.
On the 88, out in front once again as we work lap 27 of 70. Sebastian Marin in the 23. He is the only car not on the lead lap. And so with that being said, one of the things that I've always questioned, always wondered is, if you are the only car not on the lead lap, and it looks like everyone is in this group in a bunch right now, why wouldn't you drop to the back, Kevin? Why would you not be the last car staying in the draft? You don't want to lose the draft, but why would you not be the last car so that way nobody could bump you or touch you if the caution comes out?
I don't know. I know if I were in Sebastian's shoes right now, I would be all the way at the back. We are in the ARCA cars, and you don't want to get ARCA braked if there's even the slightest caution. Any caution and somebody just doesn't check up, there goes your lucky dog. And for him, if a caution comes out right now, he could get 1 lap back and then get another one back potentially in another 7 laps. So I don't know, but Sebastian's pretty smart out here. He has a tendency to run up front quite a bit, so he's probably comfortable where he is. He has a decent gap to the cars in front, and it's also a pretty good gap to the cars behind him, and he knows we all race together enough that you know where you want to be in the pack. You don't want to be all the way at the back and maybe lose the draft, or maybe he's thinking about pitting the lap before and taking a wave around. There's a lot of different options that he has.
Meanwhile, back up at the front, they are still 3 wide. Wesley Hogue in the 38. Leading the charge in the 3rd lane, the 51 of Travis Elliott, the 12 of Zach Fritsch. Those are your 3 cars in that 3rd lane. Now the 38 clears everyone, drops down all the way to the inside. Looked like Gabe Butler and Travis Elliott almost getting together. And now Anthony English uses that bit of momentum breakage to jump up to the middle lane to try and get around the 38.
That's one thing you'll see is if you clear from the top all the way to the bottom, the more wheel input you have to put in, you're just scrubbing speed off the car, and it'll cause the whole bottom lane will accordion backwards, having to check up for you. And in this car, you can't just give somebody a nice little slam draft and regain that speed quickly. It's going to take a little while, and that allowed Anthony to be able to move up and then clear back down. See these guys running tighter and tighter as we close in on this stage break.
Yeah, they are definitely starting to get tighter on each other's door panels. Not a whole lot of give and take starting to play out right now.
It's like they have something a little bit figured out up there on that top lane. They're having to be really, really aggressive. So hopefully it doesn't bite them, but it looks like they're able to generate a big enough run that'll allow them to start shuffling people. And the other drivers around will also notice that, maybe pick up on what they're doing a little bit differently. But all it takes is just pushing that car a little bit offline, and if they wiggle the car in front, then you check up, and then you're just dropping back again, having to redo it. But you also want to learn, what will this car take?
Well, working lap 32.070, we're going to find out. You talked about them saving some fuel to try and get to the end of this one. You think they're going to be able to make it?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, Travis Elliott's running that hot side. He must not be too worried about fuel.
No, they seem to be pretty comfortable. Nobody, if it was tight on fuel, you wouldn't see that 88 car trying to lead any form of a line. He would have tried to back out immediately, go to the back, save a bunch. So they must be sitting relatively comfortable.
I'd have to agree with that one, as this one is really starting to get down to the nitty-gritty of the stage end. Anthony English in the 44, still running tough down on that yellow line. Gabe Butler with a good shot from the 40 of Peter DeBoer just shoots out ahead, but here comes the 51 of Travis Elliott. This lead is changing almost every 100 feet.
Yeah, it looks like that top lane, they're just not getting the timing that they need. By the time they're building up all that momentum, they're hitting the next corner, and it's just making it so they can't clear. You know they want to get Travis clear, get Frisch back right up there, get Josh or Jeff and then Workman up there, working together as a team. But you have teammates stacked all over those top two lanes.
John Stevens peeled off for pit road. He was the only one to hit pit lane.
Yeah, it's a gamble going in there. You just hope you don't get any form of a penalty, because you get a penalty with that coming to the stage, it's just gonna absolutely kill your race. Looks like Sean's having an extended pit stop there. Yep, as he did indeed get a black flag, so he will go a lap down.
Well, not how you wanted to do it, and that was one of our keys to the race here tonight, was avoiding that pit road penalty. But good news is it's not at the end of the race. He does going to have a chance to make that time back. Well, here we go, final lap of this stage. They are still 3 wide. The 51 of Travis Elliott slicing down to the inside. No, he's going to stop in the middle. Doesn't go all the way down to the inside, drops down in front of the 88 of Gabe Butler. As they come off of turn number 4, Anthony English out ahead. But as they get that momentum build up, will anyone have it through the trial one? And it's going to be the 44 of Anthony English.
Anthony had an excellent run there. He and West were really well connected, really strong first stage for him.
So Anthony English in a dominating run.
And it looks like Sean will be able to benefit from a lucky dog here. So that's good news for him and terrible news for Sebastian.
Yeah, that is not what Sebastian Barron wanted to see, but
you see Gabe Butler pulling off early into pit road. Maybe fuel was a factor. Yeah, Gabe just said over race comms that he was running out of fuel.
Well, he had just enough to make it on the pit road and maintained his speed all the way down pit lane. So
you have a number of cars here that are probably in fuel trouble. You have Anthony English.
Yeah, it looks
Slow
like
on the back.
and that is very
And he
big
will.
because yeah, you have to be able to make it to pit road in a timely manner under your own power.
Yeah, he's not. Anthony just said he's not going to be able to make his spot, so he's going to lose all those stage points.
And so then that is going to give it to Travis Elliott in the 51, who's going to be the first one to hit pit road.
And you had Anthony below the playoff cutoff line, so that's going to be pretty important.
I will let our stage winner finish his pit stop, and then we will pull him in and get a quick word in with the driver of the 51. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Travis Elliott, this KR up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Yes, I do, KR.
Well, this 51 is a stage winner by virtue of having enough fuel to get it done.
Oh, yeah, just enough, you know.
No, we didn't know, but we kind of figured that since you were, high, wide, and handsome and not slowing down, you thought you had enough fuel.
I mean, I clearly had enough. You know, fuel mileage is not the strong suit up in the booth. I know that for sure, but we made it work and got that much needed stage win.
Well, nice job on that stage win. That third lane, how's that been working for you up there? It seems like it's been hit or miss, and it really came through for you in the last bit, though.
You definitely need people that can work well up there. You get a couple good fast people up there, you can go pretty quick. Tires are playing a factor into it. It's getting pretty tight up there. If you're on old tires, really tight in the middle and on exit. So tires is pretty important. And matter of fact, I'm going to go get some right now.
Must be pretty important to give up all this track position. How you going to get it all back?
Lane 3.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, man, nice job on winning the stage. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Shout out to all the boys in the Discord. The 12, the 33, Zach Workman, I think Kody Neagles, and Vicente are in the team tonight. So big thank you to them, because that was all their help right there.
All right, man. Well, nice job on the stage win. We'll let you get back down to them.
Appreciate it, guys.
That is Travis Elliott, our stage winner. Gave up a lot of track position to get tires. So I guess that third lane, he's planning on using it some more.
Yeah, that's good news for us. We'll definitely have a good show if they're able to do that. I don't know if his teammates are all back there with him. Now they're all scattered throughout the field. So yeah, this could be quite the show if he wants to slice through the field. What you can get those single car runs that'll bring you up towards the front, probably not all the way there. So yeah, it's going to be a fun restart to watch.
All right, so the lights are out on the pace car. Field is all stacked up nice and pretty light. All right, and as they get ready, the outside lane has everyone who stayed out. Everyone else came back down pit road. So the green flag is out. We're working lap 40 of 70, last half of this race. Andrew Schroeder sitting on pit road and has been there for a while. This is going to give Sebastian Marin a spot on the track. And once again, Sebastian Marin, the only car not on the lead lap.
Coming to the end of the race here, I'm very interested to see. Normally, you see in a lot of these OP races, people will turn that middle lane into an absolute parking lot. Once they get it, they're not giving it up, but it really has looked like the bottom lane is significantly stronger, as you saw with Anthony English just maintaining control for most of the race by staying there. It's going to be fun to watch, and hopefully they can keep it all organized. I mean, we've had some phenomenal racing here tonight. These drivers are really putting on a show. It's great to see. And we are back to 3 wide.
That didn't take long.
No.
This time that lead 3rd wide. Sorry, let me start over. This time that 3rd lane is being led by the 21 of Daniel Holloway. And Holloway going to use that 3rd lane to ride all the way to the top spot.
And another really nice Reese's Cookies paint scheme. These guys have some really nice paint schemes on these cars. These cars are a lot of fun to paint with this body style. You can unfortunately make one a Toyota like Workman's here.
33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. down on the inside lane. Just 2 cars in that 3rd lane. Hanging very tough out there. They're looking for some help, and here comes a guy with some fresh tires. Our stage winner, the 51 of Travis Elliott, starting to creep his way forward.
And it looks like we now have 2 separate packs. Not sure what happened to cause this to happen, but if they just didn't catch up in time, or well, you see Anthony English, who missed out on those stage points, he's now all the way back there in that 2nd pack. They have a lot of work to do to catch back up.
So Crosby still down on the bottom. Zach Workman in the 19 in the 2nd lane. That 3rd lane fizzling out, and now just 1 car up there. Sebastian Marin hasn't quite gotten that lap back since the last time I talked about him 1 lap ago. But you know what? It's still anybody's race.
Hey, he's made some serious progress going from P31 to P30.
Right? It can happen. We're on board with Zach Workman as he drops down to the inside lane. Richard Kuhn in the 47. Talked to him a little bit before this race here tonight. Said he thought he had a fast car and was going to try and do what he could to put it up front.
Yeah, you saw all throughout that first stage there, he was able to stay up front, working really well with Anthony. And now hopefully he can get some laps led, get to the bottom, and continue a strong race.
So the 47, the 21. First 2 cars in the 2nd lane. Anthony English once again turning a fast lap. So despite the fact that the 44 ran out of fuel, lost all kinds of track position, and gave up the stage win, still has some speed in that race car. And he'll probably be making his way back to the front before it's all said and done. Now he jumps up to the 3rd lane. So far, nobody going with him just yet.
Yeah, looks a little lonely up there. Let's see how far he can carry that momentum. These cars that drift out of that 2nd lane and into that 3rd actually will help him, though he'll be able to pull trouble.
Big time trouble coming off of turn number 4. Les Levy involved. Anthony English involved. Jim Mayer in the 95 all the way down. to pit entry. But a hard hit for the 62. Let me see if I can back this up.
Oh, that's just terrible luck for Les there and all those drivers that were involved. Les almost had that missed.
Just gets clipped in the left rear as it looked like the 8 of Michael Pratt maybe broke loose. Not really sure what caused the 8 to go up. Let's take another look and see if we can't maybe get a better shot. And I think it's just an example of the air getting pulled off the car on one side, and he kind of wiggles up the track and unfortunately makes contact and ran out of room to save it.
Yeah, and sort of like Travis was telling us, maybe it was pushing tight off the corner because it looks like he just continues, he just goes up the track. So you don't know if it's that. The contact with the 77 is what got, then he went into less, but that one's a difficult one to figure out there. But it's really unfortunate for Anthony, who was caught up in that. They had just caught up back up into the pack. He was trying to make his way forward. So he's now missed out on the stage points and then gotten caught up in that incident.
Daniel Holloway wins the race off of pit road. Sebastian Marin got one of his laps back. That's good, right?
Yeah, good news for him.
The caution is out, and with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. No one going anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the field is stacking up 2 by 2. 53 Dave Hunt is our race leader. Travis Elliott in the 51 said he was going to use that third lane to get all that track position back. Well, I'm not sure he used the third lane, but for sure got all that track position back. This is Kevin. The 51 on fresher tires now has nobody really to his outside to help him with, or on the outside lane to help him. So that being said, how much are these tires worth?
I don't know, but you're gonna see here, all these leaders definitely did not take tires. So if this run does continue on, you're gonna maybe see the tires come into being a factor, and we have Jeff Crosby in trouble there on the start.
He's down below the yellow line.
Looked like there was a massive checkup for some reason.
Let's back this up and take a look to see what happened to the 33. Green flag comes out.
It looks like Holloway checked up for something, and then everybody started checking up. Kody went to go to Jeff's outside, but got the right rear on the way.
Back live we go. Kody Neagles out in front. Harold Rothery using that middle lane, and now Richard Kuhn in the 47. Richard Kuhn and Vicente Guerrero make contact, and around they go in front of the field in the 47. Hard impact into the wall. Wow. 19 laps to go. The 47, who looked very fast here tonight, going to end up with some heavy front end damage.
Yeah, it looks like Richard was like in that middle, and Vicente was, it looks like, trying to get maybe to the middle lane or to the bottom, but Kody was there.
Going all the way down to the bottom, but the 6, he wasn't clear of the 6. And the 47, I think that was just bad timing by both drivers. The 47 was reacting to it, going to try and suck down to the side of the 14. But since the 14 wasn't clear of the 6, he had to check up, and that caused issues for the 14.
Yeah, the drivers on that one, they did a really good job taking care of each other, getting checked up. That definitely, being all the way at the front of the field, could have been much worse than it was.
Joey D taking a hard hit there as well.
Yeah, Joe took a hard hit there and promptly left the building.
Yeah, that car hadn't even stopped. I think that's an Alt F4.
Yes. It's also 10 o'clock, and almost 10 o'clock. And if you know Joe, 10 o'clock, he's out. He is almost religious with that. As soon as the clock hits 10, goodbye.
He threw up the deuces, said, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yep.
The Mark Man in the 04 going to inherit the race lead. Nate Warren, Peter DeBorgia, Michael Pratt, and Wesley Hogue, your top 5.
And it looks like Sebastian, he went into the grass, so he got a 1X, so he won't be getting the lucky dog.
Oofta. So the field slowed once again, and we're going to try and re-rack them and fire them off. I have 16 laps to go when the green flag comes back out. Keep in mind, we will use 2 attempts at a green-white checkered should we need to use them. So the lights go out on the iRacing pace car.
And Markman has worked his way back to the front. Hasn't been up front for pretty much all of the race, but of course, now that we're in the pay window, he's right up there.
He has got that car down on the apron, assuming that he's worried about fuel. I think
These guys who stayed out, yeah,
everyone who's stayed out has got to be worried about fuel. But that being said, Mark Mann didn't come down pit road. Nate Warren, Peter DeBorgia, Michael Pratt, they all stayed out. So they're hoping that this one doesn't go into extra laps. I don't think they're going to have enough to get to the end of the race to begin with, but worth a shot.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. Looking back at Anthony English's run, who ran out of fuel at the end of that stage. That was a 20-lap run, and they're going to have to do more than that to make it to the end. They'll be asking 23 laps out of their fuel tank, so this could be interesting. They have a couple of caution laps, obviously, but man, they're not going to be real comfortable. They're going to be hoping. One more yellow and they should be okay. But the whole running order, that shakes everything up. And then as the cars behind them, you're coming to the end of the race. If it goes green, you're just going to be praying that they don't sputter, because that will just cause chaos.
Yeah, everyone behind you gaining speed and you're not. All right, so the green flag back out into the air. 0-4, as they got down below the yellow line there, and that upset a few cars, but they were able to hold on to it. Dak Fritch in the 12, jumping up into the third lane. He's going to try and make some noise with that. Vicente Guerrero moves up there with him, along with the 88 of Gabe Butler.
Ooh, things are getting
very tight. Michael Pratt wants up into that third lane, and
maybe, I don't know. I don't know what lane he wants to be in.
I'm not even sure he knows.
Yeah.
That car is still wiggling. He is still fighting to hold on to it.
Yeah, that's not a very comfortable feeling as a car behind him, because you want to try and build the momentum of your line, but when you don't know, are you pushing him, or is he in the different lane than you? You have absolutely no idea, and you don't know what to do.
Well, now he's gotten up into the third lane and making his charge for the run to the front. While all that was going on, Mark Mann in the 0-4, holding that yellow line.
Yeah, Mark's looking in his mirror and loving this. So, like, let the chaos happen. I need a yellow.
So as things settle out just a little bit, they make their way down the back stretch. 28 cars on the lead lap. Sebastian Marin off the only car not on the lead lap. Joey D and Andrew Schroeder have gone behind the wall. And so now it becomes a question of, do we have enough fuel for these guys?
Yeah, and earlier we also talked about Sebastian Marin's placement of his car when he's the lucky dog. And he is right in the heart of the storm right now. So I don't know what his strategy is, but it's definitely way more fun where he is. But jeopardizing his chance to get a lucky dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's right there in the smack middle of it. But maybe he had enough of riding around in the back. Decided he's going to go after it one way or another. Well, they are really getting after it with these 3 wide.
Yeah, you see them moving one extreme of their lane to the other. And they're holding on to it. Gotta give these drivers credit. They've done a really good job with this 3 wide tonight. They've put on a heck of a show.
Oh my goodness. I really don't know where to watch. There's the back, like the whole field is not content right now.
No, and you hear people, I'm listening to driver comms, and they're all talking about how they know a wreck is coming. It's just going to be when. But they've been so close, and they've held on to it for the most part all the way throughout this race. It's just getting tighter and tighter, and eventually it's going to bite. Oh, especially if we're swapping lanes like that in this car. Because it's so hard. It is really hard to check up that fast in this car, and you have one in the fence. And there they go.
And Travis Elliott gonna get turned in the tri-oval. Jim Mayer in the 95 pointed the wrong direction. Richard Kuhn involved.
And it looks like Sebastian Marin had to hit the grass to avoid that wreck. So he might not get it again. But nobody is happier to see that yellow than Mark Man.
Yeah, he needed that caution. All right, the 8 of Michael Pratt into the wall, but Nate Warren in the 9. It looks like maybe as they were trying to squeeze by. Go off the nose. Yeah, as the 50 was trying to get around Michael Pratt, he came down and didn't quite have Nate Warren cleared, made contact, and that's what's going to trigger this one.
Yeah, and it's a hard spot for the 50 there. You just don't know, is that driver going to be able to hold it all the way up there? Is the suspension gonna break and then move you left?
All right, so caution flag coming out with 9 laps to go. I'll tell you, I think we're going to use all our green, white checkers here tonight.
I hope so. Mark certainly hopes we don't.
Yeah, you don't want to have that.
I don't know what position he's in fuel, but it cannot be great.
No, there's no way.
And the other guys, there's one person left with the 2 people left with the fuel strategy that he has, but none of them were leading lanes. So that's going to impact him.
All right, so the 53 of Dave Hunt out in front. Mark Mann, Richard Sanchez, Peter DeBorgia, and Wesley Hogue are your top 5. All right, Kevin. How do you think? How do you think you handle this? I mean, let's say you're Richard Sanchez. Last time he was on pit road was lap 52, so he's got plenty of fuel.
Yeah, I mean, if you're anybody but Mark, man, you're good. But then the question becomes, are they going to wreck again? I mean, they tried to wreck for 4 or 5 laps prior to that, and they made it fine except for when the car got tight and pushed up into the fence. So yeah, tempt fate and just go for it. And so there's a lot of playoff drivers now scattered throughout the field. So do they want to be aggressive or just wait for hopefully the wreck on the white flag lap and pick up the pieces from there?
I don't know if there are going to be pieces to pick up. You crash hard enough, you might turn it all into dust.
Yeah, but if you're one of the cars in the back and you weren't in it, I mean, you get some nice free spots there on that last lap.
All right, so lights are out on the pace car. We got them all stacked up, ready to go once again. Mark Mann on the inside, Dave Hunt in the 53 on the outside of the front row. Then it's Richard Sanchez and the 40 of Peter DeBorgia. As the green flag comes out, we got 7 laps to go. And last time Mark Mann was on pit road was lap 48. We were working lap 63.
And the back of the pack is 3 wide. Once again, just trying to make those spots up, you Nate.
Just instantly 3 wide.
Yep. Wasting absolutely no time.
Oh, look, there's room up here. Maybe I go there now.
Hey, they see clean racetrack, they can't help themselves.
Well, and that third lane has proved to be very efficient at propelling you to the race lead, but man, does it get tight from time to time, and everyone abandons the 9 and Nate Warren.
Yeah, I
Now
think
the
a
6
lot of
Kody
Nate's
Neagles
problems.
is going to try it.
A lot of Nate's problems were not his own. Travis is significantly damaged in a roadblock.
Yeah, he's just trying to survive this one. The 51 going to hope for, basically going to have to leave his cards all on the table for next race. That 51 is beat up, banged up, and can't really go anywhere with it. So he's got to ride this out and hope for the best.
And with that gap that was created, you're going to have Gabe Butler and Anthony English in that middle lane potentially catching this pack with a huge run. You're going to have that second group coming up really strong. But they're not going to have anywhere to go, it looks like.
One car that has lost the lead draft, that is the 27 of Sean Stevens. Otherwise, everyone is in this group with 5 laps to go, including the 23 of Sebastian Marin, who is still 1 lap down.
Doing his best to avoid getting a lucky dog.
Absolutely. But you know what? At some point, maybe he just decided, you know what? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So he went up there and just ran as hard as he could. Eric Laurie in the 071, now up in the 3rd lane, trying to work around the 12 of Zach Fritsch. We got 4 laps to go. And it is still anyone's race. Anthony English, who has been one of the fastest cars here all night, starting to work his way forward. He is mired mid-pack right now in 12th place. But that's only 1 or 2 good moves away from taking over the race lead. And, keep those eyes forward because we're 3 wide and we're running tight to the wall once again.
Yep, you have Peter making an aggressive move, hoping to get that win. There they go.
Oh, and the 12, the 95, and a new fast lap right in the middle of it. Turned by Lynn McNeese. Vicente Guerrero in the 14, turned around. Richard Sanchez, I saw Jim Mayer go up in the air. Multiple cars. Back that up just a little bit more. All right, it looks like Zach Workman going to give a bump to the 21 to the left rear. 21 goes up in the air, the 95 goes up in the air. Kody Neagles, Richard Sanchez, they get turned.
I think Sebastian got his lucky dog, but it's might be a little too late for him to make anything of that. But this could be a wild green-white checker here.
All right, we're gonna go on board with Sebastian Marin for this one, just to see. He is diving down to the inside. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. No one going anywhere. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network. I've been your host here tonight. My name is KR Stolfus, and in the booth for all of tonight's festivities has been Monday night's Premier Series winner. That is none other than Zach Freese. Zach Freese. How you doing, Zach Freese? I just made up a new name.
Yeah, you trying to make me Zach Fritsch? You want him up here? Should pull him up for this green white checker, get some live reaction.
I think I'd rather talk to you. All right, Kevin. So we're getting ready for one possible last restart. Could be more than one. Not sure yet.
Oh, I think it's going to be more than one.
But this is our first attempt at a green-white checkered. So with that being said, feels gonna be tight.
Yeah,
nothing new there.
Feels tight, especially for. Well, Peters should be okay. I would think he's okay because he hasn't been leading the whole time. It's again Mark, and Mark's gonna be pushing that outside lane. You can save a good amount under the yellows, but. Just a question of, is it going to be enough having 23 laps on this fuel stint? I just wonder if there's one more, if we do have to use that second green-white checker, if it's going to be an issue for him.
You'd have to believe it's going to be. Last time he was on pit road was lap 48. So was Peter DeBorgia They are the only two drivers who last hit pit road on lap 48, so they are really stretching this as far as they can.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a quick, if we're able to finish this, or if it's a really quick yellow and then the next restart's a really quick yellow, I mean, they will come out smelling like roses. But if they run out, it's just gonna be brutal for them and everyone else around them.
All right, here we go. Green flag is out once again. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Side by side into the corner they go. Got to get to the white flag. Can they do it this time? Well, I don't know. Out of the race. Adam Kilday sitting on pit road. Richard Sanchez, Michael Pratt, Joey D, and Andrew Schroeder. Anthony English, who was a dominant car in the first part of this race, now is the only car one lap down that is out on track. Sebastian Marin has gotten back on the lead lap, and he is working his way forward, but not going to have enough time to get that done. Well, I say that, but one lap to go. You don't think it's possible, but it is a super speedway race. Anything is possible.
Yeah, does Mark stay in line here, or does he try and go for the win? With that bottom lane, it's just been so strong the entire race, and you see how close they are. They're pushing pretty hard. Hopefully they don't push too hard.
As they are
they
making
have
their
a
way,
really strong run.
making their way down the backstretch for the final time. Peter DeBorgia, 22 points below the cutoff line coming into tonight's race. But if he can get the win here, he will pole vault himself into the round of 8, and here they come. And the 12 and the 40 contact, and Dave Hunt is going to win the race. Dave Hunt comes away with the race lead. Peter DeBorgia somehow still finishes in second. Zach Fritsch in third. How about that finish?
That was an awesome finish right there. And Zach is just doing as much as he can to try and help Peter, and it's just such a fine line with these cars. But Peter still got a strong finish with that, so he cannot be too upset.
Oh, I don't know. You can always be upset about losing a race in the last 50 feet.
Yeah.
It'd be understandable to be upset if you lost the race in the last 50 feet.
But you know he's going to be looking at big picture. What does this do for him with the points? Because this week you just didn't want to have a disaster of a race, and there were people in the playoffs who didn't have the endings that they wanted. But a heck of a show by these drivers tonight.
So before the race, we were talking about Baby Grand National Series, or the Darlington Dash Series. And ladies and gentlemen, please look away. This is how the Baby Grand National Series was born. That is how you make Baby Grand National cars right there. That is just a conglomerate of race cars, and inappropriate actions were happening.
Oh yeah, you got cars riding on other cars. Looks like Workman went for a decent ride there.
Our race winner is the 53 of Dave Hunt, and he is burning it down on the front stretch. Let's get the 53 up in talking to us and fire this one away, Kevin.
Hey Dave, how you doing? Great race.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, that was a heck of a finish there. Did you guys think you were going to have it coming out of 4?
I had no idea. I was just along for the ride to see what was going to happen.
Yeah, you guys put on a heck of a show. How did you feel driving the car tonight? It looked like you guys were able to have just an absolute ton of fun running 3 wide.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. that's what I don't know. It was a good race. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, you guys, again, just a phenomenal job. You kept yourself right up there and when it mattered the most. Who do you have to thank for this run tonight?
Oh, all the fans out there watching, family, everybody that runs this league and OP, a lot of great guys here. You up there in the booth, everybody up there. And I got some teammates at Checkered Flag that are pretty good teammates, so appreciate them. And especially my wife giving me time to do this. And then I think I got Daly and we're on here, my car tonight. Thank you, them.
Yeah, had a lot of really good looking paint schemes. You guys had a great run tonight. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. That is our race winner, the 53 of Dave Hunt. Nice job, Dave. Now let's move on to our second place finisher, and that is the 40 of Peter DeBorgia. And let's go ahead and pull him up into the broadcast booth. Peter, you got your ears on, bud?
Yep, I do.
Well, this 40 comes home in second place. And, man, I'll tell you what, that was an exciting finish. How'd it go down for you?
Oh, man, these cars are so polarizing to me. I've got a second place at ISS to start the season with them, and then a win in ISS in these cars a little bit later. And then, obviously, you saw how horrible last week was. So it's just... Man, I either finished really well or really bad in these things. So we were just trying to take care of the car all night and not really be in trouble. We qualified well, got a good pit box, and I didn't think it was going to turn into a fuel mileage race when stage 2 started, but then it certainly unfolded that way. So I just wanted to make sure we were putting ourselves in a spot where we were not overextending and not going to have a chance to make it. And you know, we got there at the end and had a shot at it, and the 12 got my wheels up, and it just wasn't able to get to the finish line before the 53. We'll see how the points shake out after tonight. I don't know if I needed that, how badly I needed that win with the stage points and how other guys finished. But man, sucks to finish that close, but you can't be mad. You know, you tell me before you're going to get top 5 in a stage in a P2. You asked me where to sign that on the paper, so it stings right now. But I'm sure in 15 minutes I'll feel great about it.
Yeah, Kevin said pretty much the same thing. He goes, "You got a solid finish there, can't be too upset about it." And I said, well, you can always be upset about losing a race in the last 50 feet.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's different ways to lose a race in the 50 feet, right? And like going through the infield in a B car or a truck is going to feel a whole lot worse than in this car, because I know it was, you know, Zach just pushed me too hard, and these cars are so finicky. I pushed him too hard last weekend. We both had to use a fast repair for it, so I can't really fault him for that. You're coming to the checker, you're trying to do the best you can, and he's racing against Mark for third. So, you know, even if that gets me lifted a little bit, if it gets him a few inches ahead, he's got his own race to run too. So, you know, I don't think it was intentional. He didn't destroy me there. It just lifted me just enough where I wasn't able to hold it. So, you know, appreciate the effort, and I'm glad he gets an interview and a lot of points for himself tonight too.
All right, there you go. The 40 of Peter DeBorgia. Peter, nice job, man.
Appreciate it. Shout outs here to the car tonight. I don't know if you can see, parked right next to the RV. This Saturday, I am part of a speedrun marathon benefiting, what's it called? Game Over Cancer. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name of this one. I'll be speedrunning a game Saturday afternoon. It'll be on my Twitch channel as well as their Twitch channel to try and raise money for cancer research. And then we'll be back to some extra life schemes after that. But I just wanted to shout them out while I had the chance.
All right, man. Well, there you go. Nice job. And we'll look forward to watching that later on this week.
Thank you.
The 40 of Peter DeBorgia bringing it home. Second place here tonight. Now, Kevin, I'm going to bring your twin brother in.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so I'm going to let you talk to him.
All right, Zach, it's Kevin and KR. How you doing tonight, man?
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Zach. Strong finish there. Just got Peter a little extra. It's such a fine line in these cars. Tell me about the entire race for you.
Oh, well, I avoided all the wrecks. That's literally not my regular. Usually I always end up in one of them. So that was nice. Other than that, we, at the beginning of the race, we went all the way to the back. We just, you know, felt like taking the mood of the race, you know, see how it was going to go. Usually I just like to do that just to see how the mood's going to be, if people are going to be aggressive or not. And they weren't, so I was able to climb pretty much all the way up to the front and then get second in the stage, which was awesome. After, you know, a couple of them ran out of fuel, so that was good. Then we mostly stayed up front for the rest of the second stage portion of it. Then it came down to that fuel mileage where, you know, quite a few stayed out and quite a few pitted, and I was the one who pitted and was able to get 3 wide all the way up to the front. And then that caution came out and that wreck happened just right behind me. Like I said, usually I'm always into one, so I wasn't in that one, so I was pretty happy. And it looked like Peter chose me on that last restart. I tried to give him the best I could. I was pushing him all throughout all the final lap, or that, you know, second checkered, and then that final lap was still giving them all hell. And just this tri-oval in these dang cars, I mean, you barely touch them and they're gone. I mean, I was just having barely pushes, you know, like, you know, the pushes that I gave them the tri-oval there is basically the pushes I was giving them all throughout the 2 to green. So but sucks. You know, it's just sitting there pushing, and, you know, I would usually, you know, pedal to the metal of the guy in front of me. You know, I'm committed, so unless there's an opening on the outside. So yeah, it sucks. I was trying to, you know, beat one up on Mark Mann by saying, hey, I outpushed you. Yeah. So
well, you did outpush him. If you think about it one way, you did. You beat Mark to the line, so you obviously outpushed him.
Yeah. Just as long as I didn't touch Peter there in that last, like, 50 feet or whatever, yeah. Maybe that would have been all right. So, it sucks. I didn't mean to do that to Peter at all, but overall, good finish, and I'm glad he's still able to hold on to a second there and not get totally annihilated.
Yeah, you guys put on a great show out there tonight. Who do you have to thank for your very strong run out pushing Mark Mann?
I gotta thank the people that were with me in Team 3. There was quite a few of them. Of course, it was my original teammates and FSR and Nate and Kody and Vicente. But overall, I gotta thank them. Gotta thank you for joining the booth at KR. I hope he didn't bite you too much. Hopefully, you're still clean and you know, you're nice and fine, and yeah, hopefully he didn't roughhouse you too much up there.
No, and didn't have to use the safe word.
You didn't have to use the safe word? No. So yeah, thank OP all of its admins, and thanks for Butt Kicker for sponsoring all 3 of our series for OP. Man, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, and great run tonight.
Appreciate it, Kevin. Hopefully he doesn't bite you for the rest of the closing out.
Have a great night, Zach.
You too. Awkward silence, KR. What's the matter with you? What the heck?
Oh, I'm just letting you two have fun.
All right.
There you go. The 12 is Zach Fritch bringing it home in 3rd. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of our results for this one here tonight. Mark Mann brings it home in 4th. Zach Workman rounds out your top 5. Harold Rothery in 6th. Gabe Butler 7th. Jimmy Reynolds 8th. 9th goes to Dan Harrington. And rounding out the top 10 is the 62 of Les Levy. Jeff Crosby Jr. in 11th. 12th goes to Vicente Guerrero. 13th place going to be Travis Elliott. Nate Warren 14th. 15th David Booth. Sebastian Marin ends up in 16th. Daniel Holloway 17th. 18th place Eric Laurie. 19th is Lynn McNeese. Wesley Hogue 20th. 21st Kody Neagles. Jim Mayer 22nd. Richard Kuhn 23rd. Sean Stevens 24th. 25th goes to the 50th David Livingston. Anthony English 26th. 27th Adam Kilday. Richard Sanchez 28th. 29th Michael Pratt. Joey D 30th. And 31st goes to Andrew Schroeder. Wow. So Kevin, before I call you Zach again, why don't you sign us off here?
Yeah, this was a great race put on by our drivers tonight, and it's going to really shake up the points going into next week, our cutoff race. And it'll be a really fun show that they're going to put on at Talladega. They're going to be 3 wide, of course, all the time. Maybe even decide to throw it in 4 wide. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. And again, just a great job by our drivers, putting on a heck of a show, racing super aggressive. It was a lot of fun to watch tonight.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next Monday night when Kevin tries to go back to back. So until then, he'll stay safe and have a good night.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.